Hello, everybody. Jack and Doug here. We got some interesting comments about finance on one of the videos we did about sharing our finances. And so we thought we'd just mention a little bit more about it. So interesting, this morning we had an issue that came up about our property taxes were due. And it comes out of our joint account. We have a joint account and we each have individual accounts as well. So we sort of have some of our money separate, but then a joint account to pay all of the household bills or anything else we want, trips, anything else we want to do together. That's how we handle it pretty much all the time. But with our joint account, we have to keep watching because some things are deducted automatically. We have joint credit cards also, where we can use a credit card that will come out of the joint account automatically.
And by the way, both of these things, as we mentioned before, our credit cards are joint credit cards, even though one has his name on it, one has my name, and they're technically separate. They're both are each other's account. They're both our accounts. And our checking, he may have money separate from me, but my name is on his account, and his name is on my account.
For beneficiary.
Well, yeah. Plus, I may want to go to Mexico and just leave.
You could. So there's an element of trust involved. But we'd know who did it, wouldn't we?
So we put money into our joint account every time there's like a major thing. In this case, it was property taxes.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't have enough in there to cover it. I discovered it. So I came into Jack and I said, hey, we need to put more into joint account to cover this impending property tax expense.
And we just put it in and it's done.
Yeah.
But, some of the comments point out, well, there's a lot of different ways to do this. Well, of course there's a lot of different ways. I know people that keep their money totally separate. This is yours. This is mine.
And that's fine if it works for them.
And everybody pays their own bills and things like that. I had an aunt and uncle that did that. They never commingled their money. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure other people do that too. And some people, I think it's very common, as more than one comment suggested, all the money should be together in one pot. I don't have any problem with that, I know that Doug likes to do certain things with his money in the stock market, which I don't want to do. And for a long time, I had my own business. I had several businesses, small businesses, and it was better tax-wise and everything to just handle it separately. But I don't have a problem. I mean, my parents, put their money together. Your parents, it was one pot, right?
I think it's sort of a common thing. Most people did, especially back in the 50s, 60s, and now too.
I think in the terms of gay and lesbian relationships, we have to admit they're not as stable as heterosexual marriages. That's sort of a compromise to give a little security and a little feeling of independence. But I understand, people who would disagree and say, no, everything's got to be one thing,
And one of the persons might sort of want to know as a gauge how they're doing, what they've done.
As an individual.
An individual, like a success. It was a successful, could I earn some money? Whereas if it's all pooled, you forget, you don't know, you lose track.
Yeah.
And then
especially both people are working, both people have incomes, which is true for most relationships,
And then there's other issues where maybe one person is earning a lot more than the other. And then one might feel awkward and it's out of balance. So they need to work out how much each person wants to put in or what they feel comfortable with.
I know, we know several relationships where one person provides for the other. Mm-hmm. And
that's okay.
If
that works, if everybody's happy.
Anytime you want to provide for me, I'm okay with it.
I'll be your sugar daddy. And there's always exceptions. We'll buy things for each other, and it won't go out of the joint account. And he'll tell me, I'm buying you dinner tonight. Okay, fine. Then he has his own personal credit card. I have my own personal credit card.
If everything is together, then it's hard for me to buy him something. Like I want to buy him maybe an expensive Christmas present. I can't take it out of our money to buy him that. I need my own money to buy him that.
So it's kind of good to have 3 different accounts.
Yeah, I think
Yours, mine, and
more
ours.
than once we paid for the full vacation we went on. One of us paid as a gift to the other.
Yeah.
You know, we did that.
That
a few
happened.
times,
Yeah, it has happened.
You know.
Sure.
So there's very few things we keep separate. I think medications or you know,
Things like that. Medical, I guess, is a big thing. Prescription drugs and equipment that you need or want.
Yeah.
That's sort of why should the other person pay for it? Although they could.
in our video, we said that you should talk about these things because the solution is going to be different for every couple, period. It's just going to be very different. And one of you mentioned that in a couple, one earned a substantially higher amount of income than the other, and they divided it at, 70-30, the guy said. And then as the one that was getting the 30, paying the 30, did better in his career, they adjusted the ratio, you know?
Or if they went on vacation or something, they would adjust it individually for whatever they were doing.
Yeah. You know,
to make it work.
I take a broader view. I guess I kind of think that his money is mine and mine is his, even though they're in separate accounts. I think of it that way.
Especially the longer you're together, you realize that.
We've been together for 30 years and going on 31. Actually, 31 this January.
31 coming up.
January 20th, everybody.
And we have ourselves as beneficiaries on all of our accounts. The house, the condo we own, the beneficiary is the other one. So really, our money is pooled all together.
And I think like in terms of a heterosexual relationship, say a traditional husband and wife relationship, the husband traditionally brings home the money and the woman stays home and raises the kids and does all the chores and all this stuff. Not so true anymore because they usually both work. But I'm just saying in that idea, it doesn't matter which one creates the expense. It's a family expense. If one got ill, it's a family illness. It's not like, oh, he got ill, he pays for his own bills. No, not at all. So that's the way that I think, that if Doug was in trouble, I would take care of him, period, you know.
And sort of on a smaller scale, maybe for people that are just getting together or something, and one eats really expensive foods and the other one doesn't. There might be some jealousy in the fridge there. You ate my expensive lobster, I only got hamburger. I mean, you know, so you might have to work that out.
You can have the lobster. I prefer hamburger.
It happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's different ways, and it's different for everybody.
Yeah. You just talk about it. What you think is fair becomes fair.